Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my platform. For those who do not know me, I am Vicki Johnson, your mental health specialist. I want to come on today and just talk briefly about suicidal prevention and awareness, and those who may be seeking out attention. So there is a difference. So I want to talk about the ones that seek attention seekers, as I call them. Those are the people who seeks attention, and they may say that they're gonna kill themselves or they're gonna cut themselves. They're gonna do something aggressive to get the attention that is needed, but they never carry it out. They seek attention always. So those are the ones that makes up a lot of things. They will be aggressive and pretend like they will carry it out. So you have to be aware of those kind of people. They just seeking attention and really not going to carry it out. But those who are suicidal, they have a plan. They always going to have a plan, but in the midst of that plan, they're going to let you know exactly how they feel. Some would tell the plan and some would not tell their plan. But for those who would tell the plan, most of the time, 50-50 chance that someone will tell the plan. They will tell how they would kill themselves, or maybe take a handful of pills, or just shooting themselves. But they will normally tell how they will end their life. So most of them would tell the plan. They will tell you how they're gonna do it, when they're gonna do it, and most of them will start giving things away. Most will isolate themselves from family, friends, loved ones, and most of the time they will stop engaging with family and friends, loved ones. They will start giving valuable things away that they really loved and cherished. They will start giving those away. And if they are on social media, most of the time they will post on social media and tell friends and colleagues or whoever that they no longer will be existing on social media. Or some of them will come straight out and say, I'm getting ready to end my life. There was a time that I knew this young lady, and she would post so regular on Facebook and social media saying that she's getting ready to kill herself. But she was an attention seeker. She was the one that would seek attention all of the time, but never carried anything out. Of course, when you see something like that on social media, the first thing people begin to react. So they will call first responders out and do all that they can do to help this young lady. And she would actually get a thrill out of having people upset, staying on the phone with her. First responders just coming to her home and wherever, just surrounding her. So she got a thrill out of getting all of that attention. And once they got there, the first responders and the families and the friends, she would lock people out, saying, why are y'all here? Why are y'all messing with me? But to make a long story short, later in the case, she had multiple split personalities. So we didn't know who was doing the calling. We didn't know what name to call her unless she announced her name. So it was a lot of work to be put in that situation. But the young lady never did get well. She never did get well, but she never did carry the thing out. She never did carry the suicidal thoughts out, ideations. She never carried the attempts out. So she was just seeking attention. All of her multiple personalities was seeking attention, but it is a true story. So that's how you can identify the ones that is seeking attention and the ones that are not. Because the ones that are not seeking attention, they're gonna give all of their personal values away. They're gonna shut down, stop communicating, stop engaging. Some will stop eating, some will stop drinking. I remember this young man that was in group, and he told about his loved one getting ready to pass away. Before he passed away, he stopped eating and drinking and cut off all communication with the family. And he told the family members, just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. He wanted to die. And he began to stop eating and drinking. So these are some of the signs that I am sharing with you guys here on the platform. If you know someone that is doing this, please seek professional help. It's crisis numbers out there, and the new crisis hotline is 988. Very simple. Or if you can't think of that, just think about the 911, the emergency 911 responders. They can get there pretty fast as well. But these are some signs that I want you guys to know, because it is urgent, for one thing. And mental health, people living with mental health is increasing daily. The numbers are increasing daily. Last year, it was over 50,000 people responding to crisis. 50,000 people who are living with mental illness. Just think about half of those people, the 25,000, they really don't know that they're suffering from mental illness. A lot of people don't know that. They're not aware that they have a mental illness until something happens to them, until they get so angry or out of control, or they decide to end their life because they don't like the way things are going. They don't like their life anymore. So you have to really, really be careful and monitor people. Listen to them. Just don't hold a conversation just to be holding a conversation. Really listen to them, because we have so many people out here that is really hurting and have a lot of issues going on, and they feel like that they cannot discuss anything with no one. They feel like people are not listening to them, especially the family members, the closest friends and their neighbors. And some just don't like to share anything. They just go on and boom, get it over with, and a lot of people are surprised. Well, I didn't know Sheila was going through this. I didn't know she had a mental illness. I didn't know she thought about killing herself until it actually happens. It's a lot of warning signs people will give you before they actually do it, especially if they isolating themselves and they don't keep up their appearance, and they losing weight, they look real shabby and they look bad, and clothes are hanging off of them. Their mental capacity, they don't talk the way that they usually talk. Some people only talk about death. That's another sign, when they only talk about death, or they watch a lot of death movies, or videos or something on YouTube that they may watch to help them decide on how to really plan it out, plan their actions out. They'll watch something to give them ideas on how to do this and how to do that. So it's a lot of things that's going on today about cutting themselves. A lot of cutters out here, they say they cutting away the pain. They cut themselves because they want to take away the pain. They feel like the pain will ease up. But what about if you cut an artery that you don't supposed to cut and bleed to death? So there's a lot of signs, warning signs, that we can pay attention to as family members, as friends, and just really, really listen to them. And another one is painkillers. A lot of people suffer from pain. It's all in the mind. At first they may start out with pain, but if they continue to take those painkillers, even when your doctor says, enough is enough, but they start seeking out the painkillers from maybe dope dealers or drug dealers or family and friend members, they may ask you, well, I got a terrible headache. Can you give me some ibuprofen? And can you give me a Tylenol? And they begin to learn and go on the internet how to mix up these different antidotes to get high. It becomes a high. And I was looking at this documentary on YouTube, how this professional professor at a prestige college, and she was a doctor, and she got hooked on painkillers. And she began to, once the doctor cut her off on the painkillers, she began to seek out drug dealers. She began to seek out on the internet how to get the drugs and how to get the painkillers and whatever else she may need just on the internet. And pretty soon she overdosed. She killed herself. So these are some things that we need to know and learn, because her sister told her story as she began to tell her story. She said, I help people every day, but I just didn't notice the warning signs. I didn't notice the signs. And we tend to overlook that when it is a loved one of ours. We tend to look over things like that. Oh, she'll be okay. She's just going through a phase. Oh, she'll be all right, or he'll be all right. He just going through some. Okay, let him get them painkillers, and pretty soon, they'll stop. But that person never did stop until the end, until, the overdose came. And I remember and I recall not too long ago, probably about 10 years back or more, that one of my family members had a friend, a close friend, and she also overdosed on painkillers. But if we seek out the attention, if we really listen, not seek it out, but really listen to people conversation, we can really catch on to what they're saying, even though they, probably saying it in a way that we won't catch on. But if we're good listeners and educate ourselves, then most of the time we can catch it before it actually happened. We can seek out medical attention. We can seek out other resources for them to help them. But if we're just holding a conversation and say, girl, you crazy, or boy, you gonna be all right, stop that. No, listen to them. Really listen to them, because 98.9% people, they just want you to listen. They don't want you to give them advice. They want you to listen. And once you listen to them, Then you can ask them, well, is it okay if I say this? Is it okay if I give you a number to call? Is it okay if I can, just drive you to a safe place and have you to talk to someone? So if they say yes, then you do that. But if they say no, check in with them. Check in with them as often as possible. Do not leave them alone, especially if you know the history, if you know that they will attempt or try to carry things out. You might have somebody to sit with them or talk to them around the clock, family members, rotate and sit around the clock with a person who is suicidal. So you don't want to leave those people alone who are really suicidal. But those who are seeking attention, you can get help for them as well if they want it. It's always a choice. But